Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story is one that we've likely covered in the past at some point, as it's been going on for a long time, but now there is new updates attached to it. It's from the True Off My Chest subreddit from CheatersSuck12, who says, I saw my husband and my sister naked in my kitchen. They start off, I can't move. If I move, it becomes real and I have to accept what I saw and think of what's next. I come home from work early and saw my sister's car, thinking maybe she was dropping off some food from her job. But no. I walk in, I see my husband and sister naked in my kitchen. The kitchen I paid for. As soon as I registered what I saw, I got into my car and left. I kept driving, just driving, until I found the hotel I'm at now. I don't want to believe it. I don't know what to do. My sister, my only family, and my best friend, the one who's supposed to be there for me and support me. My husband, my person, my other half, the one who's supposed to love and respect me. The two most important people in my life have ruined everything. I've blocked them both on my phone. I don't want to hear any of the bullshit excuses they come up with. I don't want to confront this. I want to go back this morning when everything was fine. The first commenter said to OP on this one, unblock them and just let their calls go to voicemail. Turn the ringer off for each of them in your accounts. That way you can get recorded proof of their apologies and excuses via voicemail. You may need that type of proof for your divorce. Sammy says, just from a banking standpoint, I work at a bank. File legal documents intending to separate. Open an individual bank account. Start your paychecks going there after you filed for your separation papers. I don't know what state you're in, whether it's a community property state or not, but keep everything as clear cut as possible so there won't be issues down the road. Deal with them with your head held high as you can. Don't take their shit and cry when no one is watching. In front of them, be the badass that you are. They are the lowest of the low and they will prey on your perceived weakness. Best of luck, OP. Edit. I'm not a lawyer and cannot give legal advice. Lilith K says, I'm so very sorry, OP. I can't imagine the pain and anger you must be feeling right now. I hope you have a way to get out of this marriage safely. Run away and don't look back. Fuck them. Fuck both of them. Sleep Dangerous says, the my only family part is what hit me hard. I'm so sorry, OP. OP says, yeah, we cut contact with our abusive parents 7 years ago. Thought we were supposed to have each other's backs, always. So OP came in with their first update and said, sorry for not replying to comments and not updating. Things have been hectic. I didn't think I need to explicitly say this, but by naked, I meant they were butt naked and fucking in the kitchen. I admit mentioning that I paid for the kitchen was odd and kind of funny, but anyone that knows me knows that the kitchen is my pride and joy, so yes, when I saw my sister and husband fucking in my kitchen, it stuck with me. And yes, they did see me. When I got to the hotel, I cried for a few hours and then I just wanted to tell someone, anyone. The two people I would talk to when something happened in my life were the two I needed to talk about, and it was 11 something in the evening, so I wasn't going to disrupt my friends' evenings and burden them. So instead I came to Reddit, thinking not many would see it. The response I received was overwhelming. I want to say thank you to everyone that sent me kind words and advice. Thank you so much for all the virtual hugs. I know I commented only once. It's because I had so much to think about and do. I appreciate all the love and support. There was so much amazing advice given in the comments. Although a lot of it was American based, I still appreciate it. But one thing I did see a lot was to unblock them and keep the texts and calls as evidence. So I did do that. After posting another good cry, I knew that I had to get my shit together. I didn't have my sister or any family to help, so I had to do it myself. I started researching what my next steps were. In the morning, my friend called me saying my sister contacted her, wondering if I'd been in contact with her. I told her what happened and she very kindly offered her spare room and her day off work to help me sort stuff out. I called in sick at my job and my friend helped get things done. I got in contact with my friend who works at a bank and she helped me started sorting my financials. My friend also found me a lawyer to consult with. After my phone consultation with a lawyer, was so overwhelmed. I now know why so many women don't divorce their cheating husbands. It's such a lengthy, expensive, and emotionally draining process. I fortunately made a stable income and can support myself, and we, fortunately, don't have kids. I have to remember that things aren't going to happen in one day. It will take time. As for the house, unfortunately, his parents did buy it for us, and to be honest, after what I saw, I don't want it. I will try to get reimbursed for my beloved kitchen, otherwise it can burn for all I care. This has been super draining, but I knew I had to talk to them. I already knew that there was no coming back from my husband, and when I checked those messages, they were exactly what I thought they would say. I'm sorry, it's not what it looks like. We didn't mean for it to happen. Please come home, I love you, blah blah blah, just absolute bullshit. A small part of me thought maybe I could find it in me to forgive my sister, as we only have each other. But after I opened her messages, all hope was lost. She used the same excuse we heard our father use when he cheated on our mother and beat us. She said the same things our mother would say when she would excuse our dad's behavior and also beat us. I spoke to her this morning and asked her to tell me straight up who, what, where, when, and why. She told me back in July I went on a girls' trip and she was at our house and joked to my husband that I would cheat on him on the girls' trip because that's what always happens. He said, nah, and they joked about it, but she said he could get even with me, and they ended up doing it once. One time led to 2 to 3, then to whenever they could do it. There was never any evidence or signs or anything that I was going to, or even thinking of cheating. I told her we were done, and there is nothing she could do to bring us back together. I later received a call from an unknown number. It was my mother, who I haven't spoken to in 7 years. Turns out my sister has been in contact with her and told her what happened, and my piece of shit mother, the same woman who beat me for breathing wrong, had the audacity to say, "This is what I get for taking her daughters away from her." It hurts so much. I know things are going to get messier, and this is going to be a long few years. I've now lost all my blood relations. I need to get all my shit and find a new place. I want to show them that I can, and I will thrive without them. Again, thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all the love and advice. All the people in the comments that could relate to me. I'm so sorry. The first commenter said to OP on this, "I'm very proud of you for taking charge and standing up for yourself. I know it's very hard, but you got this. You will get through this." OP says, "Thank you for your kind words. It's pretty hard losing the only family I had, but I'm trying so hard to stay optimistic. Betrayal like this is fucking devastating. It'll be long and hard and draining, but I will make it." Total Maintenance 59 says, "Fuck them. Family is more than blood. You happen to have some amazing friends. Keep them. You can do it, and you will make it through this." Another commenter says, "Hold your head high and cut them all out of your life. Did his parents actually own the house, or did they just give money? Cut off mother and sister for good. Your sister had a piece of work." Or is a piece of work, maybe? OP says, "They gave my ex-husband the money for the house, so it's under his name, and yes, my sister can join my mother and do whatever. They're no longer related to me." Another commenter says, "Out of curiosity, have you asked his parents if they knew what was going on? This will give them the opportunity to hear what actually happened rather than the lies he had told to cover his bad behavior." OP says, "As soon as I started receiving messages from his mother, I knew he had been feeding them a false narrative. She's been calling me names for bringing my cheating backside and my slutty sister into his life. She never liked me because of my background and thought I should forgive my mother. Unfortunately, all I hear from them is bullshit he's told them." So 10 months later, OP comes in with an update and says, "I actually forgot this account until recently, and when I logged back in, I saw so many people still commenting, messaging me, and checking up on me. To those people, thank you for your kindness. Since so many still ask for an update and I've shared such a big part of my life, I may as well give a small update. Back in October, my life was in chaos, but I was determined to soldier through it and show them that I can make it without them and succeed. I had to meet with my ex to talk about the house, and he kinda gave up and we decided to sell the house. I was reimbursed for my beloved kitchen. At first, my sister would show up at my job and my friend's house, but once I told her that I would get the police involved, she stopped. I haven't seen her since February. I did hear from my pathetic excuse of a mother again, but that was also shut down, and I have not heard from her since the end of last year. I'm from New Zealand, so my ex and I have to be living separately for 2 years before we can divorce. Although I want nothing to do with him, I'm not too fussed. 1 year is almost done. I started therapy, which has been healing. I wish I had gone sooner. I've moved into my apartment and I was promoted at work. I've also gone on 2 girls' trips and had some extra fun these times as I was a single woman. And I've also started seeing someone. He has been very kind. Thank you all again for your kindness. Hope this is the update you were looking for. Additional says to OP, I'm glad you updated. You are happier. Never introduced the man to the family. Wouldn't put it past your sister to repeat her behavior. Cutting the toxic people in your life brings so much mental freedom. Living a happy single life after divorce is a kindness to yourself. Best update so far. Yeah says, from what it sounds like, she's gone no contact with all of her family, sister included. The former because of the abuse and the latter because of the reason for this post. And 18 months later, OP comes in with a final update and said, hello, it's been a while. I still get messages and notifications asking for an update, so this will be my last one. I'm officially divorced. It took a while, but I got there and my ex-husband had 2 years to accept it and not fight it. I've got my own house, a nice kitchen, a cute mature man on my arm, friends who treat me like a sister should, and a job that respects me. I'm happy and couldn't care less where my biological family are and what they are doing. I'm enjoying the wonderful summer we're having in New Zealand and living my life. Thank you for all the support. All the best. And then shares a picture of a beach. And that is absolutely stunning. I could go for a dip in that right now. Comfortable says, hell yes, this is what I pay the internet for. And Ping says, so happy to hear you're doing well. Thank you for updating us and all the best with your new life. And I don't think there's really much more to say after that, is there really? Just well done, OP. That is the way to do it. You've lent on the true support that's around you, true family, and you're now thriving. Continue to do so. Much love to you. And now let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from the Relationship Advice subreddit and says, my 30 male, partner 30 male, won't let me sleep, and I don't know what to do. First off, I'll say I have sleep issues. I find it very difficult to get to sleep and stay asleep, despite taking medication for it. And when I finally do sleep, I snore. I've tried so many fixes for this. Nose strips, adjusting positions, spoke to many GPs about it. Nothing's worked. I can't control it. My partner has taken to, instead of rolling me over, just losing his patience and kicking doors open, yelling, screaming, hitting the bed to scare me awake. This has started a few months ago and was super infrequent but has now picked up and is happening multiple times a week now. I'm now having an even harder time getting to sleep. Bedtime has given me so much anxiety. My body is like on a hair trigger now. I wake up at the slightest noise and never fully drift off anymore because I'm just expecting to be woken up in an extremely aggressive manner. I feel like I'm at the end of my tether. How do I get them to listen and just let me sleep? I mean, it's ridiculous to be scared of going to sleep when your partner is home, isn't it? I don't know what to do anymore. I just can't up and leave him because he's totally dependent on me financially and I don't have anywhere I could stay. We live paycheck to paycheck and it's not like I can just sleep somewhere else and still support us. He is so angry all the time now and I don't know how much longer I can be around him. I just want to be left alone to sleep in peace. Nah, absolutely, that is a form of abuse. He's choosing to violently wake you up instead of using, any other kind of solutions there are. Earplugs, separate rooms, a white noise machine, something along those lines shows that, this isn't really about the snoring, it's about his control and intimidation towards you. No partner should treat another like that. So, I know it's easy for me to say, but you need to get yourself out of that situation as safely and quickly as you can. But just as a little side note on snoring, I also have a bit of a problem with snoring at night when I'm super tired or whatever. And I have a little bit of a overbite as well. And the first solution I tried, I found it's almost like a gum shield that you put in hot water and it adjusts your teeth. And you can adjust the bottom one to push your jaw ever so slightly forward. It worked first time. Just throwing that out there just in case anyone else has the same issue as mine. I know there's many different reasons why people snore, etc., but throwing that one out there. Danik says you need to figure out how to leave him. Him being financially dependent on you is not your problem. That is a legitimate form of torture to deprive people of sleep in that manner. What an absolutely disgusting way to treat your partner. Alarm Jellyfish says this is abuse, and abuse always escalates. Considering how angry and violent he's already acting, I fear OP is in much more danger than he realizes. OP, time to pack your things and find somewhere safe to stay. Even a shelter until you find somewhere for just you is an infinitely better option than staying with him. Another user says you need to request to be checked up for sleep apnea. I'm a 30s female and just briefly reading your symptoms, it sounds like you have it. My doctor tried to yank me around for 2 years on a sleep study. Do not let them do that. You request it. If they won't, tell them that you want that on your chart. You'll feel amazing once you get the proper equipment to treat it. 18 months later, OP comes in with her update and says I've never made an update post before, so I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. Please let me know. I posted well over a year ago now, close to 2 years at this point, about my sleep snoring issues causing aggression from my partner, and some people were really concerned for me in the comments. So I felt the need to update just so people know I'm okay. So to update, not long after the post I sat down with him and explained how upsetting his behavior was, and he changed it. We aired our grievances, did some reflecting, and realized it was unsustainable, so implemented changes and it worked. Isn't it wild how communicating can fix problems? A lot of people wanted me to dump him and leave, but we've been together for years. I wanted to give it another chance to try and see if we can find a solution. First change was sticking strictly to separate sleep areas, and sleeping separately helps so much. Seriously. We're so much better rested in our own spaces, and our sleep routines aren't being disrupted by each other. Also, fun sleepovers with no sleeping. Lol. Sleep deprivation was making us both crazy stressed out, and we're not handling it well. Him, in particular. I've reached out to my GP since, and I'm currently still on the waiting list for a sleep study to confirm sleep apnea, which is not ideal, but at least there's movement there. Love the NHS, but don't love how long these wait lists take in my area. He also started therapy soon, after my post, and we found out that he's autistic, which he suspected before but didn't know what to do about. He got diagnosed and really dove into resources on the topic, and we've both learned so much about how to deal with it. He's done so much work on recognizing and coping with being overstimulated. Yeah, the loud snoring, extra distressing for him with his sensory issues he didn't understand how to identify, and redirecting his anger into healthier outlets. He's now trying to get me to get assessed too. I'll say something like, "Where are the scissors?" The way this thread is hanging off my sleeve and touching my arm makes me want to peel off my skin. And he'll just hold up a book on autism and point at me like, with a little evil smiley face, which is fun. And our financial situation I mentioned in my post, it flipped. He found a job and then I lost mine, so we're no better off on that front. But sleeping, and as a couple, we're doing so much better. I want to thank so many commenters on my first post for helping me realize it was not healthy or okay for either of us. We're still working on it, but we're in a much healthier, happier place. Thank you. Jealous reply saying, "Separate sleeping spaces for the win. My husband moved into the spare room due to his snoring and incessant restless legs. He tore a hole in our lovely linen sheets just by moving his feet so much. During the second lockdown where we live, and we've never looked back. It is honestly the most romantic thing he's ever done for me. It strengthened our marriage so much. It's hard to be your best self and love with your full heart when you can't sleep." Red Box of Bat says, "I'm confused why none of the original fixes tried was sleeping separately. When my boyfriend snores, I don't scream and slam things. One of us moves to the sofa." Opie says, "We would move after being woken up. The change was starting to sleep in separate rooms entirely, so he isn't being woken up by me in the first place. Instead of us both going to sleep in the same bed and him being woken up or startled. Sorry for the confusion." And there was a lot of people talking about this, with OP talking about autism as some kind of excuse. And I absolutely agree. We've seen it time and time again. While things might have improved in their relationship, which potentially is a good thing, right? but we shouldn't minimize what happened by attributing it all to autism. Sensory issues can be distressing, but being autistic doesn't excuse being violent or doesn't excuse the behavior that we saw in that first post, the violence and abusive behaviors. Many of the comments below that one were also saying, that they're autistic and they would never abuse their partner. So OP downplaying it in a way was particularly concerning. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.